Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave, and hey, hello, welcome back to Mordor. It's a very nice Saturday little morning over here, so I hope everyone's doing well out there in cryptocurrency land, doing the best possible that they could ever be doing in their lives. However, we got some very serious magic internet money business to get down to right over here right now, so let's get into the live scene. And as always, got to mark off the most important areas on Bitcoin to be aware of. The 6150 level that we've been looking at for the last, half year, whatever the fuck it might be, has been obviously very much broken, as Bobby Baldwin would say, very much. But that also offers up the contingency point that, hey, as long as we're below there, I am looking for further downside, and essentially we'll treat this as a very bearish asset. With that said, there's a couple other areas along the way. 5850, your prior low right over here, that would likely be a major resistance if Bitcoin were to kind of pump back up and retest these areas, which we can certainly talk about. There are some ideas that that certainly is a possibility, although my personal opinion is that we probably go lower before we go higher. But hey, you got this area right here. You got this 4 hour on the 4 hour time frame right here, you got that nice horizontal right there. You got this nice horizontal right here, which it looks like we broke down from while I was sleeping last night, and currently respecting that as resistance as long as we close this next 4 hour dildo, which ends in the next 10 minutes and 7 seconds and ticking down ever so softly right now below 5,500. That will look like a little bit of resistance to me right there. And then we got this horizontal right here right around 5,400, which we did wick down to in the overnight session as well. So we spoke about this last night during the live stream that, hey, if Bitcoin were to break 5,500, the next kind of stop I'd be looking for is 5,400. And there you go. Again, I'm not, I don't say these things to be arrogant or say like, I'm so fucking cool or anything like that. No, I want to show you how you can do this and recreate this yourself so that you can go do whatever the fuck that you want in your life. But essentially, just breaking down from here, boom, back there, and then coming back on up, and we're kind of just floating around this area right here. Yes, I do still have a few positions on options, the bingo boards over here. I'm trying to get filled on more of these. This is my streamer account, so I don't quite necessarily have the full on the full on look on that guy. Still got my futures positions as well, although I will be covering my my Decembers over here. If we do tick up any, about $20 higher, we'll take that position off and just kind of roll that one in. As again, if we were to pop back above 5,500, it is very possible that Bitcoin does come back in and test this 5,600 range. Now I would obviously not want to live through that, but here's kind of the big point. Just like breaking down below this area, provides the impetus for a move. Breaking back above 5,600, I really don't see much stopping us from well, we got this area right here, right around 5,750. Also your green 55 exponential on the hourly dildo chart, and I think that you might actually reach for this 5,850 level right over here as well. You're probably seeing on crypto Twitter and all these great social media venues that there's an inverted head and shoulders on Bitcoin right now. Nope, there's not. This is nothing of the sort. In fact, you got completely negated middle of yesterday, from what I remember. Not that it was going to be one to begin with. You do have bullish divergence, or you did have bullish divergence on I think all the way up to a 4 hour on this drive down over here, but I believe that's already played out. And this thing is just so there's so much heavy down pressure right now that unfortunately I think that we will be seeing further down before up. And again, everyone on crypto Twitter talking about the daily RSI because that's apparently the only indicator that people know about, and they're saying it's too low. It's never been this low before. It's too oversold. There's no such fucking thing as oversold or overbought for that matter in trending markets. Again, we can go back to the example in 2017, the end of 2017, where it was certainly very overbought, and perma bears were saying the same thing. It can't go any higher. It's overbought. No, of course it can stay up higher, and if you would have kind of lived by that sort of mentality, you would have missed the whole run from 8,000 to about 20,000 right over here. So again, don't take my word for it. Just there you go. There's a fucking proof. So when it comes down to it, what I do use the oscillators, and especially the RSI for, is divergences, and we have absolutely no divergence here on the RSI. In fact, we are gaining momentum down right now is what it's kind of saying to us, and that makes me think that it's going to be a little bit of time before we get any sort of meaningful bounce. And in fact, I really just don't see much holding us up right here right now. If we do throw on the volume profile, we can see very easily that, let's just go a little bit further down. We can see very easily that we're kind of like hanging on to this last high volume node right here, right around that 5,500 mark. That's kind of what stopped Bitcoin. And after that, there's absolutely nothing doing from there, 5,500 all the way down to about 4,700-ish area, this thick volume node right over here. So that's kind of the next area that I'm really looking for like a potential major bounce, so to say. So when it comes down to it, let's go over here to the Bitstamp chart, and we do have that. Okay, Okay, so we do have that area pointing down to this. Sorry, we do have that pointing down there, the volume profile. Okay, what else do we have? Well, we have the 200 exponential right over here pointing in this area as well, around 4,200 actually, this purple moving average. If we put on, oh, bastard. Okay, great. Okay, I thought I deleted it. If we put on the drawing tools over here, these red arrows are pointing to this dotted trend line over here. That's a 10-year logarithmic trend line on Bitstamp. That's never been broken in Bitcoin's over 10-year history. That would actually be meaning price actions in the mid 4,000s as well, around 4,400. You also have the 786 Fibonacci retracement coming around right around there, and you have these nice horizontals. Not only that, there's actually more, but wait, there's more. The monthly over here, if we take everything off so we can actually fucking see, if we do actually break this 21 exponential, which I would say is extremely likely, get it confirmed below there, then yes, the blue 30 simple moving average right here would become like a map for price action. Where's that coming in around? Well, 4,600 it looks like. So again, you know, just more things kind of lining up with that. And then we also do have, technically speaking, we do have a measured move. I've been looking at this on the inverted chart. However, I will show it, I suppose, on this chart right here. So if we do look at this as kind of like at ascending, a small descending triangle, which I do kind of struggle with it, looking at it like such. I think it's more like this, and then you just got a fake out throw over here as you got rejected by all these moving averages. And this would actually have a measured move pointing us down, I believe, towards also that lovely 4,000 level right over here as well. So a lot of things coming in that range. You know, we have the measure move, we have the 200 exponential, we have the 786 Fibonacci retracement, we have the volume profile, we have the monthly 30 simple, we have what else? You know, a couple of horizontals, and that's kind of where I'm looking for like a meaningful bounce. And I actually do think that Bitcoin will test back into the high 5,000s, but I don't think I think it's going to be next month, probably, if next month, if not December, then probably early January. But for now, pressure down, and I think that we have more downside to go before we pop back up. Again, 5,400, that next support that I'm looking at. And I think the chart's actually a little bit more easy to look at on BitMexico over here, by the way. Yeah, my horizontals kind of get it a little bit better. Again, just 4 minutes left on this 4-hour dildo right here. Still using this horizontal as resistance, so I will stay in my short as long as we're kind of hanging around that area. So again, you know, if we do lose 5,400 by closing a 4-hour dildo below there on decent volume, yeah, I'm gonna start to look towards those towards underneath 5,000. To be quite honest with you, and again, I think there's going to be a lot of people interested at that level, just because, you know, I think that there's just going to be like bargain hunters in general, you know, like the you know, like fucking the heroes, right? The crypto Twitter heroes are just going to start jumping on it because it's too cheap. Well, of course, it can always get cheaper. And yes, there are certainly much lower targets, but I'll kind of detail those in tomorrow's video because I like to do the long-term analysis on Sundays because it's great. You know, you go to church, then you pray to Bull Jesus, then you pray to Bear Jesus, and then you realize that Goat Jesus is the only Jesus, the one true genius of geniuses. Of Jesus's. Jesus Christ, man, I can't even speak. But hey, when it comes down to it, yeah, there are much lower targets, and I actually don't believe that that's going to be the ultimate low for Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin is going to go much lower over time. It just looks and feels weak to me, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. You know, I do think that you're probably going to get a pretty sizable bounce in that mid 4,000s range, and that could be a reversal, potential to be a reversal. But again, you know, no one's going to know that until it actually plays out, and we'll just have to judge the reaction from. Once we get the reaction, then we'll know. Then we'll fucking know. But right here, right now, my initial impressions would say there is heavy pressure down on this asset, and we are likely going further down. We can go over oscillators a little bit right here. We have the 3-hour Stokes over here, actually just having a fresh cross down. I do put a lot of weight on that, especially now since they've had some time to actually come back into equilibrium. So I do look at this as a positive, or sorry, well, as a good signal for downside, I suppose you could say. 4-hour Stokes over here actually still gaining momentum to the upside, so fair enough. You know, that would be a counterpoint to what I'm saying. Going to be testing the edge of the more critical zone on your RSI right over here. But again, you know, it needs to really, if that is going to be a signal, you need to see this actually start to make, you know, higher highs on price action very, very soon. Otherwise, this is going to turn into hidden bearish divergence, which, again, not my favorite way of doing things, but when it fits my biases, I like it. So fair enough. We got the 8 hour over here. 8 hour, same sort of thing going on. 8 hour Stokes actually hitting at a cross back down as well. So kind of like our medium time frames are headed down, our higher time frames are headed down, and our much higher time frames are headed much more down, which we'll get to in just a second as well. But also on the RSI, still using the exponential as resistance. I want to see us kind of like make a new lower low and then put in some divergence on here. That's going to be the first kind of warning signal that okay, we might be in for a nice bounce. 10 hour over here, 10 hour Stokes crossing down as well. Put a lot of weight on this guy as well. And same thing on your RSI, you know, not really giving you any sort of divergence just yet. I need to see like kind of another lower low being put in before we can even get that divergence if we're gonna get it. Daily over here, daily is, you know, daily Stokes getting down there, getting pretty fucking getting pretty well done. But hey, still room to go. Daily RSI, no divergence to be seen as well as we kind of spoke about to begin this video. 2 day over here, 2 days where things get a little bit more scary as the 2 day Stokes, you know, got your fresh crossover, you know, before we broke it. I mean, this was really, you know, we spoke about this coming into the week that your big signal over here was this rejection. I think we had it last week around 6,500. You know, the shooting star dildo pushed right back below your 21 exponential, and also we're pumping back up, and also just essentially this death cross right over here, which we've only had one other, you know, example of that in Bitcoin's over 10-year history in 2014. So all those things kind of put together, you know, were indicative that this move was likely to break to the downside, and break to the downside it did indeed do. So again, the Stokes just kind of the icing on the cake for that one. RSI, same thing. You know, it's not going to give you anything really different. In 3 day as well, kind of crossing down. But more importantly on the 3 day, and something that I think really needs to be taken into consideration right here is the fact that today will be the day where we close another 3 day. And why is that important? Well, if we close this 3 day dildo below this purple 200 exponential right here, that will be the second time in Bitcoin's history where we both opened and closed a 3 day dildo below this purple 200 exponential moving average, which again, you know, in 2014 when Bitcoin did that, the only other time in Bitcoin's history that's actually done it, that's where things actually started to get quite nasty. You know, you actually consolidated this region once again, and then once price action got below the moving averages, then boom, down to your ultimate red dildo capitulation death hole, and then you accumulated for about a year, and once you boosted right back above your 200 exponential right here, well, that's actually when your 3-year bull market began. So again, something of great interest to me as I am curious, you know. Well, I'm not necessarily curious, but it's almost like you don't want, it's like watching a fucking train wreck, right? And just kind of going back on over here. And oh man, those bastards just got me out of my position. Fucking assholes. Oh, well, whatever. Anyways, for now, does look to me like we did just close at 4 hours. So let's go check in on him. Where did we close at? Still closing. It looks probably below that horizontal level that we had put in. No, actually, no. It did actually close a few ticks above. So fair enough. Could be, again, I'm not necessarily. I wouldn't take a long off this or anything like that. That's fucking crazy. I think the next play to really take, in my opinion, is shorting this level once again. If we do break that, so that's kind of what I'd be doing. Again, this is not financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. Blah blah blah. Let's go check out Mr. Buterol over here. Mr. Buterol kind of been the canary in the coal mine, in my opinion. That overall things look very much more likely to move further down. Again, you had this nice symmetrical triangle that we put in. You know, we can just take everything off and just redo this because it's a very simple chart now, very simple. So we had a nice symmetrical triangle right here. Volume catchers, you know, kind of work out, not kind of work out, they do work out. You know, it looks like one, it smells like one, it acts like one, and it broke like one. And very similar to the one that we put in over here, it has a high degree to actually play out its measurement move. This guy over here, you know, actually did, well, let's actually do this fucking right. There we go. You actually did hit your measure move, put in a little bit of a stutter step dildo right there, and then boom, down again actually, and then kind of leading us into this next consolidation over here. Well, we can do the same thing for this guy as well, and as you can see, it actually can overshoot that, especially in heavily bearish markets. And well, if I don't even have my my line straight. Jesus Christ, man, it looks just ugly. But hey, there you go. You know, it would be pointing just down to about 130-ish area, so I would be looking towards that area for this for this guy to kind of play out overall. Mr. Buterol does make me quite bearish as long as we're below, especially 188.5. As long as Mr. Buterol's, closing daily dildos below this level right here. Sorry, I would actually take that back and say about 199. As long as you're closing daily dildos below 199, very, 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 very bearish. Same thing as Bitcoin below 6,000 essentially. So overall, that's what I would want to be aware of on this guy right here. Let's go check out. Well, did I get filled on any of my options? Did you give me anything on this? Oh, you bastards! You fucking bastards! It's like you can't even just buy one right now. Let's see. Maybe I'll sell some of those a little bit later. Anyways, okay, so let's go back on over here. How did GBTC close? Because yesterday, it's actually a part of, it trades OTC, so it trades on regular market hours. Put in this nice, hammer dildo right here, and then yesterday, not having any sort of continuation, so that's usually a bad sign. And overall, just kind of hanging at the lows. So I would say that, you did hit a major support in this area right here, and we are likely to kind of at least put in a little bit of a stutter step right here. But what I really want to see is, if this is going to be a bounce, is I want to see us take out the high of this hammer dildo right here. We have not done that at all. In fact, this really calls into question a lot of things. Oh, also CME is closing at 64.15, 64.15 on Friday. So that will be the next big thing to be aware of coming into Sunday at 5. I believe it's 5 p.m. Chicago time. So if we do open, if the SAFU exchanges are below the CMEs, where CMEs closed on Sunday, then I would be looking for I'd be looking for a major short on the gap fill. If they do open higher, then yeah, maybe we do bounce. Maybe we do bounce up to 75.50, something like that. But I'm gonna go with probably the former situation. I think that the first one's more likely to happen again. Okay, so what else do we have over here? We got XRP doing something interesting. XRP still kind of holding its levels over here, but again, it's consolidating to me. A lot of people always ask about this one, so I figured I'd cover it. Still consolidating. It's not really breaking down with the rest of the market, so that is a positive sign. But I do think that it has a little bit lower to go. You do have support right around here, 46 cents, but I think it goes lower. I think it does come down to about 42 cents. But hey, as long as you're above 38.5 cents, it's overall okay. And as long as you're below 58.5 cents, it's hard to get too excited about, as that's kind of your consolidation range. If you could break above that range right there, then you could actually make a measure move on this guy as well that I think points you up to about $1 or so, something like that. Let's actually go put this guy on. Yes, sorry, actually I'm way off on that. Or no, well, we're basically doing a symmetrical triangle right here, so we could do it something like this. Yeah, about 75 cents. But I really do think that if this thing got going, it wouldn't have too much trouble reaching about $1 over here. That's the next big resistance that I see, just from my eyes. But well, I guess you could say this area right here as well. I guess that does work. So ugh. Jesus Christ, man, I'm so fucking stuttery today. I really do apologize about that. So embarrassing. But this 75-cent range right over here, that would be kind of like the next area that I'll be looking towards, according to the measure move. So, all right, what else we have to talk about? Let's go check out the total market cap over here. Total market cap still taking a nosedive. Again, not my favorite way of doing things. I don't really care too much about this because it's including every little last shitcoin on CoinMarketCap. Like even on page like 3, 4, 5, and all the way to like 10 or however many pages that they have, it's just despicable. But this thing's still coming down as well. I do have this as a symmetrical triangle right here, breaking out to the downside, acting like one, tasting like one, smelling like one, and I do believe that 150 billion would be the measure move on this guy. Again, not my favorite way of doing things, so I don't put as much weight on that, but it's just good that it agrees with the overall price action, so I'd like that for good confluence. Longs and shorts of it all are very scary over here. This is concerning. Longs are about 26 or almost 27,000 open longs on Finex over here. Again, I don't put as much weight on these things anymore because there's just been a mass exodus out of this exchange. But a lot of these longs going down, basically right around this price point, right around 5,500 or a little bit higher actually. So these guys are either under a little bit of pressure or right at break even, for the most part. And compare that with the shorts on Finex, which is about a little bit under 23,000 shorts. So shorts have been letting go in their positions, meaning that they're buying back into the price action, while longs continue to buy to pile back on, putting more buy pressure on. But here's the thing: price action is not really moving out of the range, so this puts a lot of pressure on the longs essentially, for the next move. So that's why I do think that we're also going to have another move down before we have any sort of move up. There's just too many, the bears are in full control right now. It wouldn't even matter if they were at 30,000 open shorts. They're in full fucking control. They don't have too much to worry about, whereas the longs longs do. The longs are right at, kind of break even, and it's the shorts that are letting go their positions and driving this market right now, not the longs. I mean, the longs just keep on piling them on, and we don't really see anyone let go their positions. So there could very easily be another cascade event, like we saw taking us below 6,000 as well. So again, just another thing to be aware of as overall, I do believe that markets want to come lower, and you guys kind of know exactly what I'm looking for the next real bounce. Daily over here on, let's go check out Japan. Japan is still resting, kind of closed Friday on its lows, very fucking bad. And today actually looking a little bit droopier than U.S. exchanges. Yes, I do put a lot of weight on Japan. And if Japan does break this area, well, it looks pretty similar to U.S. markets as likely to come to the 500,000 yen area. It's fucking hard. That's a hard number to say. But yeah. Overall, yes, you are getting bullish divergence. I know everyone's going to be fucking calling that out. We have bullish divergence. Can't go lower. It's like, no. No, you just had an 11-month consolidation, 11-plus month consolidation, get resolved to the downside. It has plenty of juice to do whatever the fuck it wants. Let me tell you that. But hey, it is worth talking about, I suppose, because someone, if it does happen, someone's gonna fucking call and say, "Crown, you're so stupid." Like, all right, fair enough, man. Good luck longing all the fucking dips. Anyways, okay, so 12 over here on Korea. Let's go check out Korea just really quickly. Again, I don't know how much I trust this exchange with volume characteristics like this, but hey, breaking down with the rest of the market overall. I guess I haven't even drawn this one out, but yeah, breaking down below this area right here, closing on its lows on Friday as well, very bad. This one actually looks a lot worse than U.S. markets. This one looks like it just wants to fall off a fucking cliff right now and come into this kind of thick range right over here, somewhere right around 500,000 wons. What the fuck is that? This 500,000 yens and 500,000 wons. That is very confusing. But I do believe that that's where I'd kind of be looking towards. And god damn it, I just totally got wicked out of my position. I always put in stop losses when I do videos, just in case, because we've all seen crazier things happen in Bitcoin. But looks like they caught me. Maybe I'll put back on that position pretty damn soon. But for now, I want to wrap up this video and just state that, hey, the most important things we have on Bitcoin is we are essentially filling out this range. As we stated, a couple days ago, that it was likely to kind of fill up the range between 5,500 and 5,400, or sorry, 5,600 and 5,400. And we've basically been doing that. Again, a break below, a 4-hour dildo closing below 5,400, very likely to see much further downside into that 6,000 range. I mean, could we make a measure move on this? This is kind of a variation of a bear flag, essentially. We could fuck around with one right now and see if it lines up with anything. And does it? Oh man, we need to go to a higher time frame to actually see this one out. Yeah, it actually does around 4,800. Yeah, so 4,800 is kind of where I'd be looking for on this guy if it does break down, and that does make sense. You do have some support coming in around that range, and again, it's in the range, it's in the realm of where we're looking for from those higher time frames that we looked at earlier in this video. So again, that's essentially what I'm looking at over here. If Bitcoin were to pump back above 5,600 and close a 2-hour dildo above there, I'd be looking for 5,650. After that, that's your next big resistance. After that, you got 5,750. It's every fucking $100 in case you're wondering. 5,750, then 5,850, and then above 5,850, I don't see much stopping you from about 6,100. But again, as long as you're below 5,850, extreme pressure downwards in my opinion. If you do break above 5,850, you still got 6,100 to deal with. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video this morning. Hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your Saturday. I will be back on a little bit later, hanging out in the Discord all day. But I'm goddamn hungry right now. So hope everyone has a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.